Hello there and welcome to Pretty Ninja. My name is Andy and today we're going to be taking a look at Star Wars Battlefront II. So Star Wars Battlefront 2 is it really worth the money after the massive speculation that it was before with the play to win content, which in all fairness they did remove. Well, why don't we break it down into our 5 categories and find out, shall we? So first up, menu and UI systems. Let's start off the menu. As you can see, the menu is pretty dark, but it is very simple, so it's very easy to get around from place to place and to find what you are looking for. The orange tickets that sometimes pop up in the corner bug me a little bit, but obviously they do have to give you some form of notification that you've got a new unlock card. Another cool thing about this menu is actually the background. The background has different kind of forms of life that showed kind of the Star Wars universe in action, from a simple droid just kind of moving around going bleep blah bleep bleep bleep, to when you are on your customization loadout and you actually have the hologram of your soldier, which to be honest looks absolutely sick. But yeah, in regards to the menu layout, it's nothing too exciting. However, once you've moved on from the menu and you've selected your game mode and you're in the heat of the battle, the UI system is actually perfect for what you would expect for a Star Wars game. It's very clean, it's very simple. The actual reload bar, because obviously there's no actual ammo clips, it's actually just thin enough to you kind of notice it, but not too thick to get in the way. And to be fair, it gives you a really good idea of where you are within your magazine. The only other thing that I suppose falls into the UI system is in arcade mode there's split screen, which we'll get onto later, but it's quite crowded. It's very hard to kind of see your opponents, but we'll get onto that a little bit more in detail. The UI in general is absolutely fantastic. In certain areas it could be improved, so we're going to give this section an 8 out of 10. Moving on to section 2, graphics. So EA, you think you're one massive AAA title game? You think that people don't even want a story mode anymore? But I tell you what, you bloody know how to put one together. The graphics in this game are amazing. I cannot fault the graphics at all. But I have to admit, it is what I expect from someone like EA. I expect graphics to kind of literally just take your mind out of your brain and put it onto your screen, and just literally transfer you from your human body into this digital world of Star Wars epicness. It's just, mate, it is so good. And this is going to be the first time, and possibly even the only time, that we are actually going to give this the Pretty Ninja stamp of approval, and we're going to give this a 10 out of 10. There's nothing I can fault about it. Section 3, gameplay. Now obviously EA announced that they don't think anybody wants a story anymore. Well, tough shit, I do. And especially in the bloody Star Wars universe. How dare you say people don't want bloody single players. Anyway, off point. Stop. Calm down. But in this review, we'll talk about the multiplayer. Apparently the only thing that anybody gives a shit about. The multiplayer is exactly what you would expect from a Star Wars universe. It's fully immersive, as I mentioned about the graphics, but obviously the graphics can do half the job, but obviously if the gameplay's crap, you're not going to get into it as much as you would kind of like. It's fully immersive. You really feel like you are the battle droid with your heavy machine gun about to plow through some clone troopers until you see Yoda just dancing around and you think, fuck. They've done one thing which I feel like should have been in Battlefront 1, which is add the classes back in just like the original Battlefront games, which is so wanted, it's been so needed, and it gives you an actual kind of reason or style of way to play this game. I feel like Battlefront 1, I think that was its probably main downfall, is that you could kind of just select your gun loadout, you can have all of your mixture of abilities, and it was all a little bit messy. There was kind of no organisation in there. but these classes bring that organisation back, and it really adds to the gameplay. Now, the issue before the game was released was the fact that it was going to be pay to win. And you know, EA did actually take it out of the game, and it no longer affects the game. However, I still feel like the card system is really pointless. Star Wars is not a competitive game. If you take Star Wars competitively, take a look in the mirror, sort your life out. Because it's not a competitive game in the slightest. So why I have to earn a card to be able to play as Darth Maul, arguably the only cool Sith in the actual game, my opinion, is really irritating. Really irritating. I don't get it. To be honest, you should just have all the characters unlocked, and then just have maybe a few ability cards. But the fact that you have to unlock a card to unlock a person, but yeah, you can unlock ability cards for that person, and you can't play as that person, is really stupid, man. It is properly stupid, and I think it needs to be rectified. My only other gripe in regards to the gameplay is the heroes. Now, just wait a minute. Yes, it is really cool to be able to play as Kylo Ren. Yes, it's really cool to be playing as Rey. But I shouldn't be playing as Rey when I'm a droid fighting against the clone troopers. Rey wasn't even born at that stage in the Star Wars universe. Just my opinion, I don't think it's very cool or very interesting. Han Solo might have been alive by then if he was like 3, give him a blaster and have a mini toddler Han Solo running around for all I bloody care. Just, you know, a bit of sensible, common sense realism of the Star Wars universe would be pretty sweet. So just to recap, the gameplay, in my opinion, is fantastic. It's very easy to play and get into and get really immersed. There are a few little niggles, in my personal opinion, in regards to the heroes being possibly in the wrong time zone. But otherwise, we're going to give this section a 7 out of 10. So our next section is game modes. So Star Wars Battlefront 2 actually has quite a few multiplayer game modes. So let's just quickly go through them. First up, we've got the Galactic Assault mode, which is actually a 20v20 game mode. It's kind of a little bit like Rush, but it's also with kind of extra kind of points to go on through. So rather than just kind of setting some explosives, you've actually maybe got to look after a trooper carrier or an AT-AT or capture an AT-ST to then move on to the next kind of section. So it's kind of a little bit different, and it is quite a cool little game mode. It's probably the most popular game mode in the game. After that, we've got the Starfighter Assault mode. Now this is 12v12 space battles, which was asked for so much by the Battlefront 1 community, and by George, they have delivered. It is fantastic. It is so good and so immersive. You don't have to be a great pilot or have been a good pilot on previous games. It's very easy to pick up the controls, and actually there's so many things that you need to look out for, whether it's just killing enemy players or trying to conquer the objective, whether it's blowing up the deck or possibly the guns on an Imperial Galactic ship. So sorry, I don't know the name. But there's plenty for you to do within that game mode that may suit your style of play. So don't rule it out simply because you may not be that great a pilot. Do it, it is fantastic fun. Blast, which is a 10v10 game mode, which essentially is team deathmatch. Don't need to go any more than that. After that, we have Strike. Strike is an 8v8 tactical objective based game mode. I suppose you could probably say that this is probably the most, or the closest, you're going to get to a competitive game mode in Star Wars Battlefront 2. It is great deals of fun. However, for me, it could be a little bit better with a few more players. I think you could still do the same type of game modes, but with just a few more players, just to kind of add that extra element of madness to it. Next up, we have Heroes versus Villains, which is a 4v4, Jedi versus the Sith, Han Solo versus Greedo. There we go. Last but not least, we have the arcade game mode, which can be played in single or co-op and even split screen mode, which I mentioned earlier. A friend of mine, Crispy Chicken, if you've been watching the live streams on Twitch, came over and we had a go at the split screen. It was great fun. The missions aren't any different to whether you're playing them single player or in co-op mode. However, make sure you do have a fairly decent sized TV if you're playing on PS4 like we were. Otherwise it's going to be a little bit difficult to kind of see your enemies. As you can see from this clip here, it's a little bit messy. But to be fair, your friends around, you're drinking a couple of beers, it's good fun. Really, really good fun. But there you have it. We have quite an array of game modes to choose from here on Battlefront 2. Not all of them are personally great. Heroes versus Villains is fine, but it's a bit of a waste on me, to be honest, sorry. However, the two main ones, the Galactic Assault as well as the Starfighter Assault, is so good. And for that reason, we're going to give this section a 8 out of 10. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to our last category, which is just general problems. Only real issues that I have with the game is the card unlocking system. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's not fair on the players. You know, I could play this game for a whole year and still have heroes locked. It's literally a complete lucky dip whether you get them or not. I don't think that's very fair, and I think, to be fair, EA will probably rectify that in the few updates to follow. My only other gripe is the heroes being in the wrong time zone. I feel that kind of takes something away from the game, actually. The fact that you could pilot Kylo Ren's ship in a Starfighter assault mode when it's the Clone Wars, or even play as Han Solo during the Clone Wars. You know, I feel personally, for me, it takes something of the authenticity away from when you're kind of in the heat of the battle and all of a sudden you see Kylo Ren just running around with his Christian lightsaber just killing clone troopers. It's weird for me. I'm not a massive fan of it. So for those small reasons, in all fairness, we're going to give this section a 7 out of 10 because there are hardly any problems that are fundamental to the game. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my honest review of Star Wars Battlefront 2. If you agree or disagree, I would love to know, but more importantly, if you stayed to this point, I think it's only fair that you hit that subscribe button, that like button, and drop me a comment. I really want to hear from you guys out there. I really want to hear your opinions. After all, what's the point in having an opinion if you can't share it with anybody? If I've solved whether you want to buy the game or not, even better, let me know what you're going to do again in the comments. And don't forget, we have quite a few social media sources: Facebook, Twitter, and I'm live pretty much every single evening on Twitch. So you can find all of them links below in the description or in the info tab on our profile page. But until next time, guys, catch you later.